veterans support medical marijuana in Texas. What we are going to do for the next year is we are going to collect 1,000 pill bottles from 1,000 individual veterans all over Texas, and each one of these pill bottles will represent a veteran who supports medical marijuana in Texas. We will gather at this monument again 1 year from today, and our goal is to display 1,000 of these bottles to show our legislators and to show Governor Abbott how many veterans in Texas, going all the way back to the Korean War, uses cannabis as an alternative medication to dangerous and addictive narcotic pain medications and psychotropic drugs which have absolutely horrible side effects. We also request that we meet with Governor Abbott. We would like to have selected veterans from our group sit down with him, one from every war going all the way back to the Korean War, and we would like for these veterans to explain to Governor Abbott in person why they have chosen to use cannabis as an alternative medication, and ask Governor Abbott to support our request for a medical marijuana program in Texas. We thank all of you for being here today. We're very proud of our veterans for marching in the Veterans Day Parade that has never happened before. We thank all of our non-veteran supporters who marched. We thank Texans for Responsible Marijuana Policy for sponsoring this event today. And now I would like to introduce my good friend Cliff Duvall. When I joined Texas Normal and became a cannabis activist in 2013, the question I asked was, where are the other veterans? And the answer was, oh, it's Cliff. He was the other veteran. And so Cliff taught me how to be an effective activist. He was a great example. In the Army, we always say lead from the front. And so when I met Cliff, he was leading from the front. The first time I saw him, he was testifying right there in the Capitol in front of a legislative committee, and he was preaching the cannabis gospel. And so Cliff served in the United States Army Air Force from 1972 to 1978. He's a Vietnam veteran, and Cliff, one of the operations he participated in was the Saigon airlift. So I would like to introduce my hero and my friend, Cliff Duvall.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, all of you people that showed out today to support the veterans here in Texas. We need your support. We need your support desperately. I've been a veteran for going on 40 years now. And during that time, I've been on every type of medication that's on that list right there, plus about 20 different medications to 30 different medications a day. I was taking until 2005, whenever I decided that I needed something else. The doctors decided for me. They put me on methadone, took me off of everything and put me on methadone for 3 times a day for 4 years. In 2009, I weighed about 100 pounds, and I was at the end of my rope looking at a dead man in the mirror, and decided that as a professional educator that I could do something for myself. I could research, I could find out the answers, I could find out the truth. I took this to my doctors. Of course, it was a little hard at first, but they were not totally reluctant. Some of them had the open mind that was needed, and helped me become a medical cannabis patient from another state. I'm a Texas resident, but an Oregon medical marijuana patient, because the Veterans Administration faxed my records to Oregon, to the THC Foundation, to Paul Stanford's outfit, to help me become a medical marijuana patient. I no longer need prescription medication. I no longer need the VHA to tell me what I need. I usually end up telling them what is working for me now. And they are being very acceptable. Some of them not as accepting as others, but it's a start. And every inch is a mile, especially here in Texas. And so it's with people like David and other veterans here in the state of Texas that we are going to help get this law changed for the betterment of everyone, and get these pill bottles out of people's houses. This is death waiting at your door. That's the simplest way I can put it. Now I would like to introduce to you another veteran. She comes to us from the United States Navy. Her name is Kate Cochran Morgan. She served from 2004 to 2010 as a foreman, health foreman for the Fleet Marine Force, and served a tour in Iraq from 2008 until 2009. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Katie Cochran Moran.
Good afternoon. Thank you everybody for being here today. It is such an honor to be able to speak on such a heartfelt topic. Yes, I am a veteran, as you can see, and I did do a tour in Iraq. Coming back, being a hospital foreman, I was involved with seeing the process of us giving medication to our veterans and what it was doing on the latter end. They were coming in with knee injuries, ankle injuries, and they were coming out with bags of medication. We need to find a better way. And so when I end up talking to some of my veterans, I always ask them, do your own research. Do what's best for you. And then they're like, well, the best thing for me is medical cannabis. And they can't just pick up and leave. They can't go to Colorado, they can't go to Oregon, because their family's here, their jobs are here, their livelihood is here. So that's why it's very vital for us to bring this cause to the forefront and vote. Voting is vitally important. Veterans are vitally important to our establishment. We're doing it the right way. We're writing legislation, we're showing up, we're having the right of assembly. We are doing it the right way because the government taught us the right way. So let us, as a unit, come together and be the best Texas Normal that we can be. And we can do that one step at a time. Thank you. My name is Catherine Cochran. Please look up Operation Trap. I'm just going to introduce this amazing gentleman to the left of me. His name is Christopher Sam, U.S. Army 2006 to 2011. He did 4 deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan. Remember, 4, okay? Airborne Ranger, served with the 75th Ranger Regiment, was in U.S. Special Operations Command. Please give this man a round of applause.
First off, I wanted to say thank you to all the veterans out here today. You know, we celebrate our service. But one quote comes to mind: "Never was so much owed by so many to so few." That was Winston Churchill. I got to hear that first time in Iraq during a memorial ceremony. And it made me think, like, veterans. You know, some veterans sacrifice so much. Some give the ultimate sacrifice, while others, you know, we still sacrifice, whether it be leaving your family, going to war, or shipping out from your family. There's been times where, you know, as a veteran, we all know what we go through, whether it be we go to MEPS, you know, we have our story about MEPS, we ship out, we step out that bus to boot camp, regardless of what branch, when we step out that bus to boot camp, we don't know what to expect. So it's just one of those things that we know as a veteran. With that being said, it's an honor to be speaking, especially for this cause. It's a just cause. I myself am a disabled vet, got injured in Afghanistan, so I didn't come back all there, but you know, not as, what's the word I'm trying to say? I'm okay, but medical marijuana or cannabis, it could be an alternative because the number is 22. That's one too many. That's one too many. With that being said, you know, we need your support. We need you to call or write your representative. We need you to support Texas veterans. We fight hard, you know. for you to have your freedom, so we definitely need your support. I'm with Houston Normal, so I drove down here from Houston. This Saturday, we're having a Veterans Conference. It's the Houston Normal Veteran Conference. I got inspired by David Bass, so I really want to thank him because he had the first two Veterans Conference. He had one in Austin, then he had another one in Killeen. So he kind of paved the way and inspired me to set up another one. And this one should be a very interesting one because we got a lot of good name speakers. We have Dr. Sue Sisley. She's leading the charge. She just got federal improvement through the PTSD study with medical marijuana. So she will be coming out here. So definitely, if you want to check this event out, come out to Houston. It's free, and it's our education seminar, and just come out and get informed so we can help change minds and stuff like that. Other than that, I want to say thank you for being out here. Now I have the privilege of introducing Jax. She's an amazing person. I got to see her lead the parade, and she's very exciting. So without further ado, Jax.
I'm the Executive Director for Texas Normal. I also am a representative for Texans for Responsible Marijuana Policy. I want to thank all of our veterans here today for their service. As Chris said, some paid the ultimate price, but many did come home, and we need to make sure that we are properly serving our veterans here in the state of Texas. Texans for Responsible Marijuana Policy is a transpartisan coalition with over 25 organizations participating. Texans for Responsible Marijuana Policy promotes honest, fact-based dialogue regarding marijuana use and the need for safe access for medical marijuana, as well as the negative side effects of criminalization. Do these veterans look like criminals to you? No, they do not. These veterans served our country and they should gladly have the right to access medical cannabis. In 23 states, patients can safely and legally access medical cannabis to treat debilitating conditions. And in many of these states, veterans and patients can treat PTSD with cannabis as an alternative or in conjunction with pharmaceutical drugs prescribed by the VA. Texans veterans deserve this safe access. This has proven medical and therapeutic benefits to treat PTSD, traumatic brain injury, as well as chronic pain. Studies show that cannabis can provide relief with fewer side effects than many of the prescription drugs that you'll see on that signage there. The Department of Veterans Affairs currently has provided VHA Directive 2011-004. This regards on how to handle patients that are participating in state-approved medical cannabis programs. As of yesterday, the U.S. Senate passed a bill, HB 2029, a bill that would allow veterans to participate in state-approved medical marijuana programs. It would also prevent veterans from losing their services or being denied those services for being a part of these cannabis programs. And it would additionally allow VA doctors to recommend medical marijuana to their patients. To realize this basic medical freedom in Texas, we must advocate for policy changes at the state level, hence why we're here at our beautiful state capitol today. Texans for Responsible Marijuana Policy believes that creating safe access to medical marijuana for veterans is a must in Texas. Veterans all across Texas are reaching out to us and our coalition members to advocate for this compassionate law reform so that they can have the same medical rights as their brothers and sisters in 23 other states. We believe that Operation Trapped is an important step in helping legislators realize how they can positively affect veterans' lives here in Texas by reestablishing the patient-doctor relationship through a medical marijuana program and by removing the laws that inhibit doctors and patients from having productive conversation on therapeutic and medical alternatives. Texans for Responsible Marijuana Policy is actively working towards the following goals in the 2017 legislative session. Number 1, we would like to amend the Compassionate Use Act to include PTSD, traumatic brain injury, and chronic pain as qualifying conditions, as these are issues that many of our veterans suffer with. We would like to amend the Texas Compassionate Use Act to allow doctors to recommend the strain of cannabis that they believe will best treat their patients. We would like to broaden the Health and Human Services Committee study on PTSD so that medical cannabis is included in the treatment being studied for PTSD. We encourage a state-sponsored study of medical cannabis as it relates to PTSD and veterans. And lastly, we support reasonable legislation put forth that will ensure veterans have safe access to medical cannabis to treat PTSD, TBI, and chronic pain. Texas is tied for second in the nation for the number of veteran residents, with 1.6 million veterans residing in our state. It is our responsibility to ensure that they have the same basic medical freedoms and rights as their fellow veterans across America. We should not be discriminating based on state lines. Our veterans fought for our rights and our freedoms, and now is the time for us to stand for them in their mission to acquire safe access to medical marijuana in the great state of Texas. And if anybody has any questions for our veterans, we could take some questions now at the podium and then break up into do individual interviews if you'd like. Did anybody want to ask any questions now? Should we do the individual interviews? All right. Thank you so much for coming out. We appreciate it. Look at all these other bottles we can put up here. Look at all that.